This episode brought to you by Nicholson Realty 2.0, Chuck's Sewer Drain and Plumbing. Raven Choate Robinson Funeral Home.
Welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Conrad. Let's go.
I'm Ted. It's time to rock and roll.
Hey, Teddy.
Special
today,
return guest.
Yes, return guest. Chris Loving, Part 2. How we doing, man?
I'm great. I'm blessed and very happy to be back.
Yes, Chris is a Big Ten line official, NFL Colts replay team member, founder of Save Our Sports, and affiliate at Indiana Wesleyan University. How we doing, man?
It's hot, but great day. It's been a very fruitful, enjoyable day that's just getting started. So looking forward to chatting with you guys again.
Yeah.
Good.
Chris, what's one thing most people do not know about you?
One thing people do not know about me. That's a great question. I guess a simple, fun one is I'm an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people may think only children are like antisocial, selfish, about themselves and things like that. But I love people. I love interacting and socializing. You'd think I grew up around siblings and busy house, but just me and my parents. And so yeah, most people are surprised when I say I'm an only child.
So, Chris, how did you go from high school officiating into the Big Ten?
Yeah, it's very similar to what players and even sometimes coaches have to do, where you start off at the lowest level or entry level. You work, you hopefully latch on to a mentor or a couple mentors. You go to camps, just like coaches and players do, to learn and better your craft. And then hopefully some of that stuff is clicking and you're starting to perform better. And the next level see you and take an eye at you and kind of keep you on the radar and give you an opportunity at some point. And been blessed to get some opportunities really early in my career, do well with them, and the right people like what they saw. And I just over time was able to keep moving up and reaching new milestones. And now I'm entering year 4 in the Big Ten.
You do the right thing and you get noticed.
Definitely. It's a must. Like, it's not a guarantee because there's officials much better than me that for whatever reason didn't get the opportunity. Mm-hmm. But if you don't do your part, if you don't do the right things, it won't happen for sure.
There's no guarantees in life.
Absolutely.
Then, how about this question? What was it like working the 2022 Big Ten Championship?
That had to have been cool.
So it's just so amazing. So many things happened that year that made that special and just memorable. On a somber note, my father actually passed away that September. Yeah. So, 3 short months prior to this game. And our last text conversation was about the last game I had. He died on a Monday. We were texting on like Saturday or Sunday about the game. And he was very supportive of what I was doing. My mom still watches my games. And so I remember working the game. I think maybe during a timeout or something, I was with a partner and I said, man, my dad would have loved this. He would have been so excited. Yep. And so that was a really touching moment to just kind of honor him in the game. Mm-hmm. The second thing was that was my rookie year in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. So it was somewhat of a surprise, if you will, or it was a goal, but it wasn't something. It was like, maybe. And so it was a blessing to have a really strong rookie year and be rewarded the biggest game in the conference. And then being at home. We had just moved to Indianapolis that summer. And so to have basically a home game in the big game and representing my dad and my family was just phenomenal.
That's cool. So for like a championship game like that, it's not your normal crew, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you just pick from
correct.
each position.
It's somewhat, if you want to call it an all-star team or the best people at each position, and we put us all together and we work the game. And that works fine because we all work the same system. We all get the same training. We all are doing the same things. It's just kind of build some chemistry quickly and just work the game like any other time.
That'd be awesome. So how does your officiating background shape your NFL replay work with the Colts?
Yeah, so with the Colts, it's actually through the NFL. There's a lot of jobs called game day assistants. So people that do the replay tablet, people that do the chain crew, the ball crew. There's a lot of things kind of behind the scenes, and my job is to set up the replay tablet when the referee is under review. They go walk to a tablet to look at it. It used to be a big hood. We still have that as a backup, but so I set those up. I manage them during the game. I break them down, troubleshoot them, and it's a part of the officiating crew. I mean, no, we're not throwing flags and making calls, but we're part of that team for that day. And I just happen to do it for the Colts since I'm here in town.
That's
cool.
awesome.
So that's probably your next goal in
It's,
NFL?
it's certainly a goal. It's not, I don't define myself by what level I'm working, what
Right.
accomplishment. Like, it's a goal. I would love to do it. If I never do it, I don't feel it's a failure. I don't feel like I, didn't achieve great things. So I definitely would love to, but I'm enjoying the journey as is.
No, I'm sure.
Let's switch gears and talk about how you built Save Our Sports. What inspired you to create Save Our Sports?
Absolutely. Really, it was my own story. It's about, wow, the time is going so far. It's about 11 years ago now is when I first was interested in being an official, just trying it out. Touched base with a friend of mine who'd been doing it. Asked him, how do I register? How do I get started? Gave me all the websites and what to do, and ran into a big wall of the cost. Pretty expensive to buy your uniform, register, go to camps like we're hosting here. And I was like, I can't do it. I was newly married, just didn't have the finances at the time. And he bought me a shirt and a pair of shoes. Didn't tell me, he just did it and sent it to me and basically invested in me.
Yeah.
And so that story, I want to duplicate that because I know there's others out there that have the skill set, the passion, all the things to be better than me, but they might have a barrier. It might be financial, it might be just knowing the right people, it might be encouragement. And so really my story of like getting supported from the beginning is what made me want to help people get supported, whether it is financially or with people resources or with networking or with training. And so Save Our Sports is all about helping that next person get started with this, succeed, and then go on to help somebody else down the road.
I love
awesome.
that.
That's
Each
awesome.
one teach one.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
So in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing young officials?
Yeah, it's sadly it hasn't changed for a long time. It's the environment and culture of sports, at least in this country, I'll speak, where people feel it's okay to just say what you want, to act how you want, to do what you want because it's sports, because I paid my ticket, because it's the big game. For example, I saw in the baseball World Series final or whatever, the manager got ejected for arguing balls and strikes.
First game.
Came on the field and made a big fuss, and he got ejected. Now, I'm not a baseball umpire, but I asked guys, like, hey, was that legit, or what's the rule? And everyone will tell you, you cannot argue balls and strikes, especially coming on the field. The coach came on the field, he was arguing balls and strikes, he got ejected. Well, the umpire was the villain in this story because it's the World Series. It's the first inning, have thicker skin, but it's like, why do we have to settle for putting the rules to the side or putting standards to the side?
Yeah.
We should all be held to the standard. So it's hard for young officials when getting berated and yelled at and abused, and people are like, well, that's just how it is, or have thicker skin, or don't have rabbit ears, or whatever. It's like we've got to be above that, but that's not realistic. It's not healthy.
That's right.
And for a young new person, they're not gonna stick around for that.
Yep,
You know,
for sure.
I'm fortunate at my level. We get paid a lot. We got a lot of perks. It's a lot that comes with it, where you could say, no big deal. It's worth it. But you're working a little Saturday game, making $20 a game or something. That's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth the abuse and the potential even danger in some of these settings. So it's our culture. It's just the way our world and our culture just
True.
accepts this bad behavior. And it really needs to change.
Yep.
So how has Save Our Sports impacted people and communities thus far, man?
Yeah, so one of our big parts of our motto is, lots of people train and lots of people help you pass the test and all that, but it's like the biggest training is being there. So when that they passed their test, they got their uniform, they got all that out the way, but when they finally get on the court or field, they need someone like physically there to encourage them, to remind them about stuff, to give them feedback. And to me, the biggest one is be a buffer between that coach, that fan, or whatever is outside of the game. That I'm brand new, so I barely know anything. I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to hustle, and then this coach is yelling at me, and this mom is yelling at me. You need somebody there that can let them work and, hey, sir, whatever. Hey, coach, I can answer that for you. And that's been the biggest success, is having a person there for the journey. Because, yeah, of course, you can work a game, call me after and tell me what happened, but it's more effective if I'm right there. And if you run into some conflict, you need someone that's trained and comfortable handling it for you or with you.
Right.
And then you can go on and you'd have a more positive experience.
True. That makes a lot of sense. So we're at Indiana Wesleyan University for this football camp. What's your ties with Indiana Wesleyan University?
Yeah, so outside of Save Our Sports and officiating, I'm involved with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm a part-time area representative in Central Indiana.
Awesome.
And through that, connected with Indiana Wesleyan's football program to use their team camp, where they have several high school teams come up and scrimmage each other, to allow officials to come up and also get work in. Like while they're scrimmaging, we're working. While they're instructing their players, we're instructing our officials. And so just through the relationship of my supervisor with the coach, he allowed us to come up and, get better at our job and help the teams get better as well.
And you're on a Christian University campus, so have you got to share anything about the FCA with the campers here?
Yep, so when we started, I kind of did a welcome, we did an introduction, and I shared a little bit about FCA, our vision, what we do, shared my passion to expand FCA to officials. We prayed, shared, just simple message that God loves you, I love you, and prayed that, God would enter the hearts of the people here.
That's
so
awesome.
It's pretty short and sweet, but just planting a little seed and water it, and God will give the increase.
Right. Now, you kind of touched on this next question a little bit, but how do you see education and mentorship as part of your mission?
Yeah. It's really the foundation, because anybody can pass a rules test. Anybody can read a script or recite a book or something, but it's that face-to-face, it's that relationship. That's the key. The relationships being built in that lunchroom and then on the field, that'll last forever. We may not work football forever, we may not work basketball forever, but those relationships, and it comes from the teaching. These guys that are teaching and training and mentoring, and what happens is that goes beyond. Like one of the guys I mentor, he's about to have his third son. He's got a new career, and like those things are exciting to be a part of, but it came from this sports officiating door. That's what allowed us to go from being his mentor to really being a friend and a brother.
Right. Okay.
Sounds like you're talking leadership, life lessons, and growth.
Absolutely.
How has officiating shaped your faith, your family, and your leadership?
Yeah, what's another key facet of Save Our Sports is emphasizing that. Because when I was officiating and going on and moving up and getting better, one day it clicked. Like, I think I'm a better husband. I think I'm a better father. I think I'm a better minister. I think I'm a better friend. As I became a better official, felt like I got better at life, at leadership, at all those things. And so now we want to put that in the forefront of when you start to be an official, I tell people, think about what it can do for you. Like, yeah, we know you're helping kids, you're giving back to the game, but how can it help you at work or at school or at home? And we really emphasize that. And when we have guys mentor and train, I encourage them to share that part of how, officiating did a lot of things on that side, but this is really what it did in my family and for my career, etc.
Man, I love that. What soft skills or habits do you emphasize in Save Our Sports?
Probably the biggest one is communication, because that's just critical in really all parts of life and relationships, but certainly in the officiating world, every sport requires strong, effective, professional communication. And that's done in that world through signals, through whistles, through body language, through talking to coaches, talking to players. That translates over to every other part of life, talking to a boss, talking to a spouse, talking to an instructor. Like, all those skills of communication are vital in life. Patience, again, I found doing this has helped me with patience, especially at home, where it clicks sometimes where if I'm getting agitated with my family, sometimes God reminds me, well, you had a lot of patience with that coach the other day, or you had a lot of patience with the official you were training the other day. And it kind of reminds me, you know what? You need to use those skills at home. So things like that, communication and patience, I feel are two of the biggest we preach.
Patience is a big one for a lot of people.
It's huge.
Yes. Man.
Now let's jump into athletics and faith and how they intersect.
Yeah.
So, how has faith and sports intersected in this journey you're on?
It's kind of mentioned a minute ago, the relationships. Like, these guys in here, I probably would not know any of them if not for officiating, or in the bigger picture, if not for sports. And so just the doors is open personally, professionally, friends that I never would have made, and brotherhoods I never would have built, and business I never would have done. Like, sports is just such it's an equalizer, it's a unifier, if you let it, if you allow it to be. And it's just helped spark so many relationships that I'll have forever. Even if I quit tomorrow, those relationships will be there forever.
So, you mentioned earlier, how some parents, coaches, whatever, and they might be getting on you during a game, and that, you might be doing a Big Ten game, and there's millions of people watching. Does it ever cross your mind that, man, there's a lot of people watching, but there's only one person that's watching, and I need to, please?
See, you said it. So a lot of people ask, without asking the last part, they'll ask, hey, don't you get nervous? Or, hey, doesn't the crowd bother you? Or don't you feel pressure? And I struggle answering this publicly because I want to answer it as humbly as possible, but I really don't get nervous. I really don't feel pressure. I don't feel anxiety, because I know that I'm called to be out there by God. I know that I'm doing ministry by being out there. I know that I'm on assignment. So if that's the case, if I'm trusting God fully, I don't have a reason to be nervous, worried. Am I working hard? Absolutely. Am I super prepared? Am I making mistakes? Yeah. But I'm not concerned or worried, because I know I'm out there for His purpose, and I know He's got my back. He won't leave me or forsake me. And I know, to the last part of your question, I'm there to please Him and serve Him. So if I get the call wrong or not, He's more concerned, what's my reaction to that? What's my heart after that? What's my attitude after that? If I make the game winning call, or I make the best call, am I humble? Do I give Him glory? So that's more of what I'm concerned about. And the nerves and stuff just don't happen for that reason. Not because I'm so great and don't make mistakes. It's because I know why I'm out there, and I focus on that. And the crowd and the TV viewers and the coaches, that's part of the program, but that doesn't cross my mind when I'm working.
Exactly. I look at it like, he's our corner man in a boxing match.
That's good.
He's going to set me down, mend my wounds.
Yeah, I like that.
Humble me if I need humble.
Absolutely.
Give you guidance on what you need to do next.
100%.
So that's my corner man. But so, last question from me. What advice do you give athletes or officials when they're under pressure? I mean, you touched on it a little bit earlier, but
Sure. Yeah, I would say two ways. So practically, being very prepared helps you, because if you're prepared, you know the rules, you know where to stand, you know where to look, you you've been, doing camps or you've been in situations, you watch film and all that. Once it happens, you're ready. Like, you don't know what play is going to happen, but you're ready for whatever comes. And so being really prepared is a key to doing that. And then the bigger picture is having a purpose. Because your purpose and your identity cannot be, I want to go work the perfect game.
Right.
I want to, be great in this big Michigan-Ohio State game. I want to, make the big call. I want to, whatever. Like, that cannot be your identity, because inevitably when you don't do that, when you fail, when you come up short, then what? Mm-hmm. So if your purpose is bigger than that game or that assignment or that promotion or that pleasing that supervisor or whatever, then it kind of takes away, again, all the pressure and nervousness, because your purpose is greater than the outcome. Mm-hmm. I would encourage your purpose to be on Christ, but for those that may not be believers yet, you can have a greater purpose even if it's not spiritual.
Right. Yep.
And so I encourage people to just find the WHY beyond the game and the promotion and all that stuff.
That's awesome.
All right, Chris, this last segment is a segment that is sponsored by Nicholson Realty 2.0. We're going to hit you hard with the no-huddle offense, all right, man? Quick answers only.
All right.
Let's go. Whistle or replay button? What's more powerful?
Whistle.
Worst call you've ever seen on TV but couldn't fix?
Of mine or?
Either.
That pass interference some years ago, Rams and Saints.
Better pregame fuel, waffles or prayer?
Prayer.
All right. Craziest thing a coach has ever said to you?
Be a man.
Finish this sentence. If I wasn't officiating, I'd be...
Doing ministry somewhere else.
All right. Well played. No flags on the play.
Let's go.
You're officially cleared to go back to the booth. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you giving us your time.
My pleasure. It's grateful to be a part of this, and just even to see you guys is a blessing. So
Yeah,
thank
we
you
were
again
excited
for
to see you, man.
reaching out about this.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and you out there and try to stay cool tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good luck. And
Thank you.
we appreciate your life and
Yeah, likewise.
the
Love
example you
guys.
set.
Yeah, love you guys and praying and rooting for you too.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely.
See everybody next time. All right.
That was great, buddy.
Good job.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Man, this is great. I just love how God puts stuff together. I'm glad it didn't even click that. Oh yeah, you got.